Hello everyone. Welcome to the next session of Certified Associate in HRM course. In this particular session, we are going to break certain myths about HRM as a career, HRM as a profile, HRM as a business function, and you will get to know that whatever myths or whatever orthodox stories you might have heard about HRM as a career are all wrong in today's date. So let us get ahead with the session and start talking about the myths. Now, a lot of people say that people get into HR because they like people. And this is, in fact, one of the lines which most of you might plan to use in your job interviews or in your B school interviews, that I want to get into HR because I like people. However, this is something which is no more true. If you want to project yourself as a person who is very soft hearted and likes people, and that's why I want to get into HR, you may be going in the wrong direction. And the second myth, which again I see as a very common one, is that anyone can do HR. While you need a person to be a specialist to do a job in marketing or a job in finance, but when it comes to HR, everyone says that boss, anyone can do HR. However, that's not true. So, if you are planning to do HR just because you believe that you are not good in other specializations, please do a recheck. HR is not a job which can be done by anyone. So, not anyone can do HR. Then what's the truth? Truth is that people who work in HR departments, they are not responsible or they are not ought to make employees comfortable. That I say that I like people and I'll make them more comfortable in the company. No, that's not the right way to talk about HRM in today's world. As a HR manager, as a HR team of an organization, your onus is to create practices which actually make your employees much more competitive, much more productive. So, you are not going to be emotional with the employees, but you are going to work towards those areas which are going to make employees much more competitive and much more productive. Similarly, HR activities, they are not like a very easy cake out there, but it is something which is based on lot of theories, research, analysis, and hence HR professionals must be able to master both the theory and the execution of the theory in the form of practices, and hence not anyone can do HR. So the new reality is HR activities are based on theory and research, and hence not anyone can do HR, just like not anyone can do marketing or finance. Few more myths associated with HR include that HR deals with the soft side of the business and therefore is not accountable. Do you think so? Just keep on thinking about it as we will come to the new realities. Another point is HR is a cost center of the company, and HR virtually acts as the policy police of the organization and is full of fads. Is it true? It's not. HR, people who see HR only as a cost center, they should know that practices they lead to enhance the intellectual capital of the organization. They HR managers, they tend to work towards enhancing the productivity of the employees and hence the productivity of the organization. And hence, if anyone or any practice or any business function is leading to the increase in the productivity of the organization, can it be a cost center? No, not at all. And hence, HR business function is no more seen as only a cost center. It is seen as an investment center because it leads to increasing the intellectual capital of the organization. Secondly, HR professionals these days, they transform each and everything which they do as per a certain financial target based on the objectives set by the organization, and hence even the HR function has its performance linked to the finances of the company, and hence it's not something which can work haywire but has a very strategic approach linked to the objectives of the organization. And there were people who used to say that HR is full of fads, it's just full of jargons, it has nothing meaningful associated with it. They were absolutely wrong. Today's reality stands at the fact that HR professionals, they have evolved over the period of time, and today HR practice is no more about jargons, but it's about authority, it's about innovation, it's about bringing in the change in the organization, it's about making employees feel at home in the organization, not to make them sit in the comfort zone but to motivate them to come out of their comfort zone and work with an increased productivity for the organization. That's what an HR manager does. That's what HR practice is supposed to do. And hence, it's not full of fads. Now, having discussed few myths, let us move ahead and see the last list of some more common myths associated with HR. HR is staffed by nice people. HR is HR's job. These are some of the other myths which you will encounter. But is it true? No, it's not. No one can say that HR is just staffed by nice people. HR also needs professionals. HR also needs a person who is a specialist. HR also needs a person who is expert at certain skills, and these skills are a person should be confrontative in nature, he should be challenging in nature, he should be supportive in nature, he should be innovative in nature, and hence you cannot say that HR practice just hires nice people without any definite skill set. It's very wrong. Today's reality is HR practice needs lot of skilled force coming to it. It's a very strategic practice for an organization which works towards employee development, employee engagement, employee retention, and people who are the part of HR practice, they need to be vocal. They need to be the people who are ready to accept challenges and are innovative in nature while dealing with people. This is not a normal skill set. This makes HR people special in today's world. And HR is not just HR's job. HR professionals, they should be joining managers in championing HR issues. They work in a very close collaboration with finance function, with marketing function, with supply chain function, and the other business domains. They work very closely with all the functions to ensure that each and every need related to the workforce is met adequately and effectively. So, HR is no more just a HR's job. It is the responsibility of the person heading finance, it's a responsibility of the person heading strategy, it's the responsibility of the person heading any business domain that he works very closely with the HR leaders to ensure that the organization is having the apt resources, that the organization is having the adequate workforce. So, HR is not just HR's job. Everyone in the leadership needs to collaborate with HRs to get the best for the organization, and hence HR is a strategic role to be in. Now, having talked about the myths, let's talk about what's the new evolving role of HR managers. What are the different key roles in which they are seen today? The first role, the first bucket is of a strategic partner. As a HR manager, as a HR leader, you are expected to translate the organization's strategy into workforce related action. You are a part of a business team, you are a part of a leadership team, you are no more just the executionist, you are into a strategy role. Then you are an administrative expert as well. You need to continuously re-engineer the existing HR activities, HR norms, and continuously improve them to keep your employees much more motivated, much more engaged with the organization, and you also need to maintain a very strong quality standards of workforce policies, of workforce engagement, workforce performance, and hence you are an administrative expert as well, and this is one of the key new roles of HR manager. Then you act as an employee champion. You work to meet the needs of employees. You need to be very interactive with the employees to keep on continuously understanding their needs and to address them from time to time to ensure that the employees do not feel alienated in the organization. And lastly, you are the change agent as an HR manager. As an HR manager, you are the catalyst for change in the organization. You are the first person who is going to talk about the change. You are going to communicate the change to the workforce. You are going to lead the change management initiatives of the organization. You need to be an effective communicator to ensure that any change happening in the organization is effectively communicated to the employees so that they have a smooth transition, and hence you act as an influencer in the entire process of change management. And thus, this is another key evolved new role of HR manager in today's corporate world. And hence, HR is no more a laid back job. HR is a strategic partner role, it's an administrative expert role, it's an employee champion, it's a change agent. And I hope understanding these new roles of HR managers would give you a clear picture of what awaits you moving ahead in your career as a human resource manager. And this diagram very clearly illustrates the link between HRM and the company's performance, how the business strategy dictates the HR strategy, which later on transforms to HR practices, and how the HR practices they lead to the enhancement of the employee competence, commitment, flexibility, productivity, and hence ensuring that the organization is able to produce good quality of services and the products with the enhanced productivity of the employees, which ultimately ensures that the organization has a very strong financial performance. Thus, anything which translates to HR strategy comes down from business strategy. Anything coming down to HR strategy gets translated to practices. Anything which is there as a part of HR practices, it impacts employees in a positive way. This positive impact on employees lead to the increase in their productivity, and hence the increase in the quality of whatever the organization is working to produce, and that enhanced quality leads to the better and much more effective financial performance of the organization. And thus there is a very strong link, there is a very critical link between HRM and company's performance as illustrated by this particular diagram, which I'm pretty sure that you would agree to, and you would have understood the essence of this diagram on your screen. So with this, we come to the end of this session, and we'll meet you again in the next session as we will move ahead in your journey to get the certificate for being an associate in human resource management. Thank you everyone for watching this session.